Okay, so in this video we're going to install the lower hull sides. And what you want to do is you want to start out by just hand flattening them as best you can. They don't have to be perfect. It does help a little bit. And we just want to test fit one side to make sure everything's going to fit into place fairly well. And what you're looking for is this back corner here to tuck in underneath the hull back where it expands a bit, and for the arrows to line up. And you don't want any overlap between here and here. So if that can line up perfectly, it's good. Now if there's a little bit coming off the back, that can be dealt with later by trimming, but it is sort of a guide to the shape you want as well. So when this is all lined up, there shouldn't be any gaps up here either. So just have a look, make sure everything will line up okay. And then take some full strength glue, and we're going to put a bead of glue right along the edge here. Try to get everything nicely lined up. And just hold that in place for a second until you get some bonding. Try to make sure your arrows are lined up as well. This is a bit of a challenge. At this point, you can stick your finger in here and pull the hull bottom down if need be, if that's one of your problems. So once you can feel it starting to set, which will take a second, you can set it down for a minute. And you want to have some longer patches like this ready to go. And take your 4:1 glue and just put a little bit along the bottom here. Now you can either use a longer patch than I did, or you can use a couple of patches. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. Nope, I think that's go. First one's on. So now, let's do the same on the other side. It can be a little bit more difficult to get the second side attached because you can't stick your finger in that side, the opposite side anymore to adjust the shape of it. So you have to adjust the shape by just pushing things into position. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Let's get your bead of glue in. Line up your arrows. And quite often, the second side will fit in a lot easier than the first side because the shape has already sort of been achieved on the other end, and this one is doing that. So everything's lining up nicely. Just want to make sure the back end is tucked under. Okay. And set on our patches. Now, one of the really nice things about using these tracing paper patches is they're strong, but you can also see all the details for where you have to set things later through them. So it doesn't matter that you're covering these positions with a patch, you can still see them just fine. And we'll find a slightly shorter one, just do the front a little bit. Now, while this isn't absolutely necessary to put these patches on, it does strengthen these sides so they don't pop off as easy. So it does help. And there we go. So that gets you your hull sides and on to the next step.